Let's get some King's Quest 6 in our lives today. Disclaimer. This was one of my favorite games growing up. By far. It required critical thinking, attention to detail. Yeah. This was one of the good ones growing up, guys. One of the good ones. So, without further ado, let's get her going. The opening, there we go.
Long ago, in the castle of a kingdom called Daventry.
Alexander, here you are. Oh, you're still not thinking about Cassima, are you?
I suppose I am.
Son, it's been months. You've got to pull yourself together. After all, you only met her that once.
I know.
Have you discovered anything about the land of the Green Isles?
No. No one's even heard of it. It's like she's just vanished.
I wish I could help. Please try to think about something else, dear.
I'll try, Mother.
Alexander, I feel so alone. I don't know what to do. Alexander, I wish you were here. Alexander.
Cassima! Wait! Mother! Mother, come quick!
Music, bro.
Alexander, what on earth? You're white as a ghost.
Mother, I saw Cassima. She was in the mirror.
In the mirror? The magic mirror?
Yes! And it showed me how to find her.
How?
The stars! I saw the stars outside her window.
The stars!
I can navigate by
That's
the
how
stars.
I can find her,
Well,
Mother.
Alexander.
The stars.
If you really go...
It will be all right, Mother. I promise.
I have to search the stars.
Prince Alexander sailed the known seas and beyond.
Land ho! Land ho! Land ho!
As the ship nears the shore, day turns to night and the sea turns violent.
Netflix, they have that gaming documentary. I forgot what it was called. But when they were talking about computer games, Roberta Williams and how her and her husband were doing some of the first computer games ever made, RPG computer games.
Alexander awakens to find himself on an unfamiliar beach. For a Then he does remember the shipwreck, the sea. Just as he had seen his men safely into the lifeboats, a gigantic wave picked him up and tossed him overboard into the churning sea. That was the last he'd seen of his crew. Debris from the shipwreck is scattered along the shore, but of the lifeboats and his men, there is thankfully no trace. He can only hope and pray that the lifeboats survived the currents, and that his men made their way safely back to Devontree.
Alright, let me make sure that the speed is up. Alright, now we're gonna go.
Alexander picks
We're
up his
going.
royal insignia ring from the beach. Alexander pushes the plank to one. A box has been...
A box. A box.
Alexander takes the coin and leaves the ruined box where it is.
Alright, so we went to the left. Let's go to the right.
The narrow path ends abruptly at a pile of boulders.
Alright. Pretty sure we ain't going inside here.
No strangers may enter the castle of the crown.
It won't do any good to try to convince the door itself to allow Alexander to pass. It only does as it's told.
On the dog.
Alexander politely addresses the odd-looking guards at the castle doors, hoping to learn more about his predicament.
Good day to you, guards. I was cast upon this island in a storm, and I'm a little confused about my location. Could you tell me what place this is
Crown on
and
that
who lives
man's
in this
head like the
castle?
king he
Hey,
is.
what is that you say? A castaway? A likely story. We haven't had any foreigners in this part since Alhazred arrived.
Don't be so rude, Gruff. He's not asking for any secrets. You're standing on the Isle of the Crown, lad, and this is the Castle of the Crown. The royal family resides here. Rather, what's left of the royal family.
The Isle of the Crown. But tell me, am I anywhere near the land of the Green Isles?
This is the land of the Green Isles. The Isle of the Crown is the main island, foolish boy.
Foolish.
Then Princess Cassima must live in this very castle.
Aye, the princess is indeed our treasured jewel to guard, and we consider it an honor.
Alright. So ain't nothing doing going in that castle right now. We didn't go in the bookstore or the pawn shop, so I guess we're gonna do that now.
Good day.
Good day, sir. I've come for your wares.
The pawn shop owner doesn't look like a man to be tussled with. The curiosities business is just dangerous enough to require one to develop one's boxing skills.
Don't touch the pawn owner. The pawn shop owner. He has COVID.
Good day, merchant. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I can tell you she is in a dark time. Without the fairy, communication between the islands has ground to a halt, and so nearly has my business. Why the long ages of peace have ended, and why the crown has not done something about it is beyond me. But then, I am a shopkeeper, not a politician, and can only hope for better days.
Alexander takes a closer look at the items on the counter.
I'm interested in that mechanical nightingale on the counter.
What do you desire to give me in trade? The items on the front counter are all of equally slight value, worth only a copper or two. They are handy items nonetheless.
The stuffed bear probably has stuffed fleas. Alexander decides to keep his distance.
Wow. Okay. So let's go into the bookstore.
Hello. I will be right up. Now, what can I do for you?
Good day, sir. I'm a stranger in this land. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
That is quite a question, young man. Who are you, and what would you have me tell you?
My name is Alexander. I know I'm on the Isle of the Crown, but I'd like to know whatever you can tell me about this island, and if there are other islands nearby.
You are indeed a stranger. Anxious is the man who knows not the customs of the land beneath his feet. This island is called the Isle of the Crown, because the royal family's castle is here. Besides the castle, we also have this village, and the docks over to the west. There are at least 3 other islands. The Isle of the Sacred Mountain, the Isle of the Beast, and the Isle of Wonder.
At least 3? Does no one know for certain?
This is no ordinary land, Alexander. The land of the Green Isles has always been a place of vague boundaries, as if islands come and go. Legend speaks of a 4th island, an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then, too, the land of the Green Isles is said to exist on the boundaries of this world and the next. Even darker places are reputed to be closer here than anywhere else in the world.
That's quite a claim.
Claim, yes, but probably just local superstition. We who live here on the Isle of the Crown, at least, sleep well enough at night.
Those first 3 islands you mentioned, how might I learn more about them?
Ideally, a young man seeking such knowledge would travel to their shores and learn about them firsthand. Meeting the leaders of each place would be helpful, naturally. Unfortunately, the ferry no longer runs between the islands. There has been much political unrest, and it has been too dangerous to travel for years. Perhaps the ferryman can tell you more. He has little enough to do these days. And if you haven't been there already, you might seek an audience at the castle.
Thank you kindly, merchant, for all your good advice.
Ah, but advice is free, Alexander. Making use of it costs much more.
Alright, so one thing about this game that I realized when I was a lot younger, and I won't make the same mistake this time, is that you literally have to like click on everything.
Thinking of Cassima, Alexander
Because
decides
if
to
you
leaf
don't
through
click
one
on
of the
everything,
volumes
you
of
will
love
miss
poetry.
something, and
He
you
reads,
will end up
Thy hair, thy
dead
lips,
because of it
thy
later.
beauteous face, and
Which is
all
crazy.
thy studied female grace have won for thee anon a place within this broken breast. Not bad. And another. Upon the shore the lilies bend, untouched by worldly care, where shadow they her earthly bed, oh, that she were not there. Yikes. And another. What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and binds my heart with links so tight I cannot live without the sight of you? What nameless thing has captured me and made me powerless to flee? What thing is it without a name that brings my mind e'er back the same to thee? The name of love cannot apply. Its commonness does not decry the haunted, hunted, painful cry that my heart makes for you, that e'er my soul eternal makes for you.
A little close to home, that one.
Alexander returns the love poem book to the shelf.
All right.
Good day, sir.
The mysterious old man just ignores Alexander. Alexander picks up the book from the small table.
Oh, yes, please, take that book. You have my most humble thanks for doing so, good sir.
Really? Thanks.
Cool. All right. Okay, so, all right. And then you whip out the book. That's how you use your inventory.
Alexander opens the bargain book and reads a paragraph at random.
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 1/8 bottles of wild beast lard.
Phew, what an incredibly boring book. No wonder the bookshop owner wanted to get rid of it so badly.
Let's go. All right, so I got a book, I got a ring.
There's no point in using an object on itself.
Oh, well, that makes sense. All right, let's go back to the castle because I got this ring and I'm about to show this shit off to these dogs. And be like, yo, let me in this castle, G. You don't see my ring? You see I got this motherfucking bling on my finger? You gonna let me in this castle, bro?
Alexander decides to show his royal insignia ring to the Castle of the Crown Guards. With all of his papers lost in the shipwreck, it is the only possible calling card he can think
I
of.
should have did this before.
Good day. I'm Prince
didn't think to look
Alexander
at my
of
inventory.
Daventry. I'm an acquaintance of Princess Cassima. If you could just inform her that I'm here, please.
So everyone says. Let me just look at that ring.
What does it say, Gruff?
Kingdom of Daventry, Prince Alexander. Wait here while I go see what Captain Saladin thinks of this.
You had no idea these dogs were from Brooklyn. Let me go get Captain Saladin, see what he got to say. You know what I mean? Hey,
The guard
back up
returns a
there.
moment later with a majestic-looking creature. Captain Saladin speaks with a voice that is gentle, but reflects a will of iron.
Prince Alexander of Daventry, I presume. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with your country, but I'm sure Wazir Al-Hazred will want to meet you, if indeed you are a friend of the princess. Please follow me.
Oh, we in the castle now. Roll up in there like, yo, where my shorty at, bro? Where my
Lord
shorty at?
Al-Hazred, a visitor to see you. Prince Alexander of Daventry.
What is it that you seek, Prince Alexander?
Pardon the intrusion, my lord, but I came to see Princess Cassima. Some months ago, my father, King Graham, saved my family and I from imprisonment under an evil wizard named Mordak.
The same wizard that kidnapped the princess?
Exactly. When my father rescued us, he also liberated Cassima and sent her home.
Then your father has my gratitude, and that of the entire kingdom. But I'm afraid I still fail to see the purpose of your visit.
Well, I came to make sure that Cassima arrived safely and to pay my respects. Before we parted, she gave me an invitation to visit.
I have no doubt she did exactly that at the time, Prince Alexander. However, things have greatly changed for Cassima since her ordeal in Mordak's castle. Cassima's parents both became ill and died while she was gone. Cassima is sequestered in mourning for them as befits a princess. She is not receiving visitors of any kind. Even if she were, I do not think your visit would be appropriate. You see, it is time for Cassima to take her responsibilities seriously. With her parents gone, she no longer has the luxury to be a carefree maiden. As was her parents' wish, Cassima and I are to be wed. We shall rule the kingdom together. I assure you, our marriage is all Cassima wants now. As a prince and a gentleman, it would be best that you leave before there is any further embarrassment.
I see. I suppose that I was mistaken. I thought for certain that Cassima... Well, I apologize.
A young man sees what he wishes to see. I'm sorry you've wasted your time traveling to the land of the Green Isles. May your journey home be swift.
Perhaps I will take the opportunity to look around your fair land while I'm here.
I would advise against that. The kingdom is rather, shall we say, inhospitable these days. But it is your neck. You may risk it if you please. Captain Saladin will escort you from the castle. Good day.
You have had your hearing with Vizier Alhazred. I trust you will respect his wishes and not return. I have been instructed not to let you into the castle again. Good day, my lord.
Captain Saladin whispers something to the guard dogs at the castle gate, and they nod with understanding. Alexander has a feeling they won't be letting him into the castle again.
No, sir. But I will be back. Alright. So, we got kicked out the castle. And they told us to go stick it where the sun doesn't shine. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what the hell to do. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to the docks. Actually, let me see if I can
The girl
talk
is
to
too
you.
far away to hold a conversation with Alexander. Alexander cannot reach the young serving girl. She's too far away.
Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it.
Hey, stranger, come join me. The water is wonderful, and I can show you the way to the next island.
Okay, so we're not gonna do that.
Come on, jump in. A little water won't hurt you.
Judging by the music in the background,
What are
I
you
don't think
waiting
I'm
for?
supposed
I
to
said I'd show you how
do
to
that.
get to the next island, didn't I?
Screw that guy. Oh!
Strange.
Yeah, what do you want?
Let me see if maybe I can show him my ring.
Alexander is already wearing the ring.
No, I know that.
There's no reason to use that on the boat.
Okay. Not even on the guy?
Go!
Alright. Alright, well, now that I got the door slammed in my face.
Right up.
Oh, it's a clown.
Now, what can I do for you?
Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I'm sorry, but I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess.
Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia ring and formally introduces himself.
I'm sorry to insist, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and...
I appreciate the offer of the ring, Alexander, but I'm afraid I'm already spoken. Daventry? Where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flitmice. You must be Prince Alexander. Cassima told me about you when she arrived home. How came you here?
Why, by a ship now wrecked upon the sand. But you know Cassima? She truly spoke of me?
Yes, I saw her briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned a prince to me, Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths. You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It is said they died of heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself.
What a terrible homecoming. If we had only known.
Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent.
Where is she now?
The princess is sequestered in mourning. It's a rather dated tradition, and not required, but the Wazir says she insisted out of respect.
I see. You've yet to say who you are, and how you know the princess.
I? Oh, pardon me. My name is Jalo. I am clown to the royal court, and have been since the marriage of Cassima's parents, King Caliphon and Queen Alaria. Oh, those were the happy days. The pair of them were so full of joy and life, so in love. And Cassima's birth. It would be hard to explain how long they had waited, how they had hoped for a child. I mean, she was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip. Kind and sweet. Oh, she means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I'm so terribly worried about her.
About her grief over her parents, you mean?
Well, the truth is, I do not trust the Wazir or his plans for Cassima. I'm still living at the Castle of the Crown as court clown, his clown. But it is more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, Cassima's pet nightingale. I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for the end of her seclusion. Now I'm afraid I must hurry back to the castle. I'll try to return to the bookshop again later.
Thank you for speaking with me, Jalo. I hope we meet again soon.
Good day.
Alexander takes a closer look at the items on the counter.
Anything.
Have you an interest in tinder boxes? This one is only slightly battered. It holds a good supply of flint, a sturdy striking pad, and even a candle in case you find yourself with naught else to hold the flame.
I don't know if I need a tinder box. This looks like a
I see you have noticed my mechanical nightingale.
Oh.
She is made of plain tin, but she sings the sweetest song you can imagine. Barely distinguishable from the real thing.
I think I want that nightingale, bro.
I'm interested in that mechanical nightingale on the counter.
What do you desire to give me in trade? The items on the front counter are all of equally slight value. worth only a copper or two. They are handy items nonetheless.
What if I gave you this coin?
I have this copper coin. Is it of any value to you at all?
Most interesting. I have never seen a Daventry coin before, but it is copper genuine enough. I might even find a buyer who is interested in foreign currency. The items on the front counter are the only things in the store that I can let go for the price of 1 copper. You may make your choice from there.
Alexander looks at the items on the counter to make his
A girl
selection.
got this for me. Apparently she wants to punch me. I'm gonna take the Nightingale.
That mechanical nightingale looks intriguing. I believe I'll take it.
And hopefully
Very well.
that does
Your
something.
coin is well spent. Remember, this is a pawn shop. I am always willing to take back my own goods in trade.
I'll remember. Thank you.
Now I got the Nightingale. I can trade back and forth with him to get like the other things like the flute, the tinder box, and I don't know why I did this when I said tinder box.
I said the ferries.
I know, buddy. Pipe down.
Alexander promised.
No.
Alexander. The boat does. The boat.
Excuse me. My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say old Allie sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know.
I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you. Well, don't just stand there. Come on inside.
Oh, now don't just stand there. Okay. You were slamming the door in my
What is
face
it you wanted
before.
to talk about, young man?
All right, let's talk about things, buddy.
I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked?
Huh. It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down.
It is a blizzard outside.
I don't think she'll ever see water again.
Oh, man.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. 'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then this unrest is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
But there must be some way to get off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander.
Okay.
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Cassima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands. I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Cassima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen, but the Queen had no answer.
What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates?
Me? I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid
Go out
the
on a
reef
limb
and
here
the
and say
rocks.
the dialogue
But
in
that
this game
knowledge
is
does me
better
no good
than
now.
a lot of the
Is there no other
dialogue
boat
in
on the island?
games that come out.
One that might be
nowadays.
more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship.
I guess
You
what
can
I
be
mean by
quite sure
like
that
the
this old ferry is, or
voice
was,
acting.
the only craft on the island.
The voice acting.
Tell me more about Princess Cassima.
Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and queen, they served the islands, not the other way around. Always thinking about the people. Ah, they are sorely missed.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind you.
Alright, so let's,
There's nothing of interest on... There's nothing of interest...
I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Perhaps it will at that. Thank you.
Alright, so now we have a mint, the nightingale, the rabbit's foot, and I have my ring. So...
Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
Alright. Alright, so apparently the pawn shop owner is supposed to give me the magic map. So I guess I didn't talk to him enough, which just goes to show you really gotta do, like, everything in this game.
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
I'm gonna give him my ring.
Would you be willing to take my family ring in exchange for the magic map?
Daventry, are you a king then?
Oh, yeah.
That's my father,
You see
King
my
Graham.
crown?
I'm just Alexander.
Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom?
The ring does mean a lot to me. I didn't always have a family, you know. Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now.
Then you now own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can come back for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for gold. Ah, and a warning about the map. It will only operate when you are out in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach.
Thank you. You are very kind. And I'll remember about the map.
Oh, shit.
Suddenly, the old man in the concealing cloak sneaks past Alexander, and with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar. The old man stuffs the mint into his mouth and wobbles unsteadily out of the pawn shop.
Master! I followed Prince Alexander as you wished. From the pawn shop owner, he just abstained, just reprieved. He just got a magic map. You fool! You've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop that. Yes, Master. Now, what is this about a magic map? With the map, Prince Alexander can travel anywhere
as quickly as I can.
I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar, I can't have him stirring things up now. Get a hold of yourself and listen carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them...
So if it wasn't obvious before, the boy on the docks who tried to get me to go swimming with him, which is actually kind of sus right there, had the blinking yellow eye, which is the same blinking yellow eye as the old man had. So obviously it's the genie trying to do something, trying to kill me, apparently. Oh, and look, guy left. Alright, I'm tired of selling lamps. And now the bird is here. Let's go.
Alexander winds the mechanical nightingale and places it on the
We're
ground.
moving. We're moving. Slowly but surely, we're moving.
The mechanical nightingale sings a sweet, tinny tune. The real nightingale in the tree cocks her head and listens intently. The nightingale flies to a lower branch and looks at Alexander curiously, as if she were deciding that this human might not be so bad.
Okay.
Although the nightingale seems interested in Alexander, she would never allow him close enough to grab her.
Hello, little nightingale. Of what do you sing?
The nightingale only looks at Alexander curiously and continues to sing.
Okay.
Alexander Alexander shows the object to the bird, hoping to interest her. The nightingale seems to have a natural distaste for the rabbit's foot.
Okay. Let's go use the, let's save. I haven't saved yet, and I should probably do that. Okay.
Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters?
Oh, I'm so weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth.
This is where you use the boring book.
If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you.
Hey, that would be great.
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 1/8 bottles of wild beast lard, yields a gilded minnow of precise measurements, 2,069 centidrills by 3,023 6/7 puns, not punts, as might be expected. This is not to say, however, in any sense whatsoever, that deviations in mean temperature of 5 or 6 dregs or so.
Alexander sees nothing of interest on that part of the oyster.
Trying to grab that pearl.
Indicate a fabrication or derivation sufficiently broad enough to exacerbate the conclusions uncovered in due course with regards to the dimensions, consistency, mass, or thickness inherent in the menial suckling grouse.
Alexander makes a grab for the pearl.
Hey, you fixed my mouth. It feels great.
The little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber with the rest of his oyster friends.
Here we go. Now, if memory serves me correctly, I may want to save before I do this. King's Quest 6, save 2. That seems a lot better. Because if I go here,
Alexander hears someone coming.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die here. I don't have all the items to satisfy the
5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies. Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
See, so now... Smell what? I have the pearl. No, that's for taste. Yeah, I don't have anything for him to smell. Yeah, this is gonna be bad.
Alexander holds the item out.
My nose cannot be tricked that way. The smell of man still rules the day.
A man, so Sarah knows, into the waiting sea he goes.
The gnomes toss Alexander too far out into the sea for him to get his footing. The currents drag him under.
Tickets out. Next.
Guess those gnomes couldn't reach a consensus. Alexander takes the feather.
Okay.
Alexander is carrying an unusually large black feather.
Okay.
Alexander picks the flower and is startled by its hideously strong skunk-like odor. For a moment he can smell nothing else.
Alright, so for the gnomes, this will probably satisfy the smell, touch, ears, taste, sight. That's the only one that I'm really missing right now.
There appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer.
Ignorance kills, wisdom elevates. Okay. I believe you. Okay. I don't know the answer to this.
Nothing happens.
So, let's go...
Alexander pulls out...
Let's go back to the Isle of the Crown.
Alexander feels a strange...
Alright, so... There's nothing that I can give this bird. What do I do with that pearl? Hey.
Alexander sorts through the odds and ends that the pawn shop owner dumped into the pot. Magic exploding gum wrappers, a shattered crystal ball, a cracked wand, a fake thumb.
A fake thumb.
Near the bottom, Alexander finds a little glass bottle labeled ink. It appears to be empty, but Alexander decides to take it anyway. You never know when a small bottle will come in handy.
Okay. Ink.
Alexander's carrying a little ink bottle. It appears to be empty. There's no reason to use. Alexander decides to open the empty ink bottle.
It's stuck. It's... Whoa! The ink bottle isn't empty at all. It's full of invisible ink. Not very strong, but not bad.
That's for the gnome with the eyes. Because we want them to think that there's not a human in front of them. Okay. Now that I have all of that, we're gonna go back to the Isle of Wonder.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Let me just make sure. Sound, taste, smell, touch, sight. Should be good. Let's see.
Alexander hears someone coming.
Ooh, I should have saved. I can't save now. They're gonna come regardless. Shit. I think I got everything. I hope I got everything.
5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies.
If it man it be, then man it dies. In the ocean.
Do that which you do so well.
Alright, so the smell.
Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
Tom Trow I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore. A flower 'tis all, and nothing more. Listen, hark you, Grovenor, do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more.
Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
We're going.
A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all there be. No man is near, and so say me.
Is that hair in his ears? What's that white shit?
Taste, Grump, that we might know whether friend or whether
But you see what I'm saying? How, like, if you didn't get all of these items before...
Alexander holds the mint.
If you didn't get these items before and you just came here and, like, forgot to save, you're screwed.
Grump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet.
Trilly dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man?
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the huge hands.
Be all you mad? What aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet.
Old Bill Batter, never fatter, vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this. Let's now away.
Alexander did it! He's fooled the guards!
The guards. What's that?
Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?" Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete.
Where are you going?
Alexander is carrying, oddly enough, a sentence. It says, "Where are you going?"
Okay.
Alexander takes a bottle of milk from the milkweed bush. Apparently, the dogwood tree doesn't like Alexander standing
The dogwood
that close.
tree. Ha ha! A bottle of milk from the milkweed bush and getting barked at by the dog in the dogwood tree. Ugh. This has like a Alice in Wonderland kind of feel to it.
How did you manage to fall off the vine, Mr. Tomato?
What do you think? I'm old. I'm rotten. Yeah, leave me alone.
If you say so.
After all, you're just gonna let me sit here and rot on this dry ground like everybody else, aren't you?
I don't know. I suppose...
Ah, never mind. Just go away. Ah.
Why does he sound like one of those like 50s gangsters? Like, nah, you see? Nah. I'm on the floor for a reason. Nah, I'm old, you see? Nah.
Hey, what do you think you're doing there? Get your hands off me! Hey!
Alexander picks up Rotten Tomato and puts him away. One never knows when one will need a rotten tomato.
Okay.
Those tomatoes are not quite ripe yet, and Alexander shouldn't pull them off the vine. Those snapdragons don't like Alexander getting so close.
Excuse me.
Alexander picks a head of iceberg lettuce.
Ye gads! Is that cold?
I know what I'm going to do with that.
Alexander decides to pick up the hole in the wall. A hole in the wall could be a very useful thing. Alexander startled the poor thing. It's run off to hide behind the wallflowers.
Excuse me, what land lies beyond?
What land? Chessboard land, you knave.
I see. And is Chessboard Land part of the land of the Green Isles?
It is the home of the red and white queens, rulers of the Isle of Wonder, fairest of the islands that owe loyalty to the king of the land of the Green Isles.
but perhaps not for long.
What do you mean?
What is the purpose of unity with the great king and queen dead? The princess is worth serving, but the feud with the other isles is strong.
I must insist, Your Highness. I shall send the lump of coal to the Vizier and the Princess as a present for their wedding, and that's the end of it.
And I suppose you'll leave me with only this stupid spoiled egg to send, Your Highness. I want to impress the new king and queen of the realm as much as you do. As queen of this island, I have every right to that lump of coal.
Who isn't queen of this isle? The lump of coal is in my possession. Therefore, I shall do as I please with it. Besides, there's nothing wrong with that spoiled egg.
The egg, though delightfully spoiled, is not nearly so valuable as the lump of coal, and you know it. Your Highness always got to carry the singing stone. It's not fair that you get the coal, too.
That doesn't count. The singing stone was stolen by that horrid beast. I should get to keep the coal just because my stone was stolen.
It wasn't your stone. It belonged to the Isle of Wonder treasury. Your Highness always thinks that everything is hers.
Excuse me, my good man, but could you settle an argument for us?
Which of us should get to carry the coal and which the egg? Remember, white is the color of deserving truth and virtue.
Quiet, Your Highness, and let him make up his own mind. I, for one, shall be more proper, and not even mention the fact that red is the color of love.
I'm sorry, Your Majesties. I'm partial to both red and white.
I don't know.
But I'm afraid that I don't know how to solve your problem. One of you will just have to be gracious and allow the other the lump of coal.
What a ridiculously stupid idea.
Quite ludicrous.
He was a lot of help, wasn't he?
Oh, yes. Obviously a man of high intelligence. The lump of coal goes much better with my gown anyway. Black and red are imperial colors.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Red does not go with anything, being much too self-conscious. White is the perfect accompaniment to any color.
See what I'm saying? How the voice acting is like... The voice acting's good. It's really good.
Alexander picks up the Red Queen's scarf.
Not like in Resident Evil 1. You were almost a Jill sandwich, Jill. Wow. Oh, thank you, Barry. You're right. Okay, so what do we have now? We have things. We have an angry rotten tomato. We have an iceberg lettuce. We have...
The glass bottle is full of milk. How strange for a plant to produce not only milk, but a container to go with it.
Well, I mean, it came from a milkwood tree, obviously. Right under the dog in the dogwood tree. Maybe if I give this bottle of milk to one of these babies.
Alexander gives one of the baby's tears a bottle of milk. The other baby's tears seem to resent Alexander's gift for some reason.
Alright, well that did that. Alright, let's get out of here for now. Can I take another one?
Alexander takes a bottle of milk from the milkweed bush.
Yeah. Oh, oh, okay. So there's obviously something that I have to do in the moment when the other babies are crying. So for now, I'll just keep that and mosey on along here. I don't know what to do here yet. Well, you know what? I think I remember. Where I gotta give the tomato to him.
What would that bump on the log want with a rotten tomato?
Or like to him?
Why would Alexander want to throw that at the stick in the swamp?
I guess not. Alright. Let's move. And let's try over here.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize these books had an owner. I'm in need of a rare book.
No owner? All books have owners, my good man. And this book owner, bookworm to you, wouldn't part with one of his books for anything.
Isn't there something I can do for you to pay for the book?
Let's see. Do you have an itinerant clause?
No. No clauses at all, I'm afraid.
As an exception, you always should.
Don't mind oxymoron and diphthong. They're fairly limited grammatical principles, you know. Let's see. A marsh pig that does Texas?
No. I'm afraid not.
A dangling participle?
I'm fresh out.
A purple fiddle whacker?
No, I don't think so. Sorry.
An idiosyncrasy, perhaps?
Afraid not.
Ha! Then what
I
good
don't
are
have
you?
any purple fiddle whackers. You should always have a purple fiddle whacker on you. I have mine. I left mine downstairs. Alright. So, yeah. That's a spider. And,
Alexander investigates the intricate spiders. The spider who lives there is not amused. Alexander feels the tiny pinprick of the spider's bite and the slow burning of her poison.
I shouldn't have grabbed it. Why did I do that? Now I gotta do all of that stuff.
Next.
Why do you think they call her a widow?
Oh, because she killed me. So I'm gonna end it right there. But this is the beginning of King's Quest 6. Again, this is one of my favorite games growing up, so I figured why not start off the stream, start off the channel with one of the games that I thought was super cool when I was a little child. Yeah. I will be back on this sucker and with part 2, and I will have done what I need to do to get back to the point where I was. Yeah. But thanks, guys. I shall be back. I will return. Stay safe, stay happy.